Let me ask you this question. Have you ever heard of the mind mirror method? Look, if you just journal for 15 minutes every single day, then after 1 year, that is over 5,000 minutes. Think about that. More than 90 hours of your brain reflecting, rewiring, and literally your identity is changing. Now, most people are just afraid to sit in silence for more than a couple of minutes. And that is where journaling comes in to give you this unfair advantage over everybody else. But that's only if you do it properly. If you know how to journal properly, then you're already ahead of 99% of people. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you in this video. Because you could turn just a few minutes of journaling every single day into so much more clarity, better decisions, better thinking, and a better identity to achieve your goals. Now, I've journaled every single day for the last 6 months using the mind mirror method. And to be honest, I've never made this much progress in my life. I've never had this much clarity and just like mental direction for where I want to go. So I'm going to share every single thing with you. Let's get into it. But put this video on full screen, take out a journal and a pen just like this, and let's get into it. Part 1, dusting the mirror. So just imagine your life right now like a dusty mirror. You're trying to see your reflection through the mirror. You're trying to see something, but you can't because of how dusty it is. It's covered in thick dust that's been piling up for years. And you get so used to this blurry image that it becomes normal to not be this clear version of yourself. A lot of people are living with so much brain fog and so much lack of mental clarity that they don't even know. They're used to it so much that they don't even know how good it feels to have such immense clarity. And when you have this dusty mirror, what usually happens is you enter this negative feedback identity loop. And this happens because your brain isn't designed to store everything. It's not designed to have all of these to-do lists, all of these goals and visions that you don't take action on just in the back of your mind. Your brain is designed to process things as they come along. So think of it like this. Journaling is pretty much like giving your brain an external hard drive. Let's say you have 500 gigabytes of storage on your computer, on your laptop, whatever it might be, right? You're capped at that point, and as soon as you start to reach the 500 limit, it starts to get really slow. Your PC starts to get slow, and you can't add new things, and it's just a mess. But if you were to just add a 500 gigabyte external hard drive, that would make it so much easier to store new ideas, new thoughts, new identity, and the new things that you want to achieve. Because if you have no space in your mind right now to create yourself a new identity, to become your own identity architect, and to build the life of your dreams, then you're not going to be able to do it. And that's where journaling comes in and saves the day. So you want to stop piling your thoughts. You just want to write down your thoughts over here. All of those open loops that you have, things that, you know, like the conversation left unfinished, the bill unpaid, the person whose number you didn't ask for, the thing that you wanted to say but you didn't say, the project you never finished. All these things are open loops that we talk about, right? So these open loops, you're going to want to write them down in your journal. So let's do this together. As you're watching this video, open up to a new page. Just like this, open up to a new page. And on the top, write down open loops. And just think about everything that's been lingering on your mind for a long time. Every thought, every idea, everything that you wanted to do, every open loop, just write it down and express yourself. And remember, the paper does not judge you. So what we're doing here by doing this exercise is, you know that dusty mirror? We're just wiping the dust off the mirror. We're allowing space for mental clarity to come into our lives to make us the versions of ourselves that we want to be. But I see so much power in just writing down your thoughts on paper. Writing down your goals, writing down the open loops and crossing them off, writing down a to-do list, a checklist, and just writing down things that you are grateful for. Journaling is part of the 1% top activities, right? If you think about the world, it is split up into the top 1% and the bottom 99%. It's just how it is. It's just the 1% rule. Now, if you want to be like the average 99% of people, then you're going to live their life. You're going to get the same results. But if you want to live a good life, if you want to be successful, if you want to be above average and achieve all your goals and become that version of yourself, then you're going to have to journal, because journaling is a top 1% activity. Trust me when I say this, the vast majority of everybody around you, everybody in the world, they don't journal. They don't read, they don't do these habits. And you see, this part is also hard because most people have a big ego. They don't want to admit that they're wrong. They don't want to admit that they might be doing things differently. So they're just like stuck with their own beliefs. But if you want to really ascend, you have to let go of your ego, put your ego aside, and just admit and write down on a piece of paper all the things you could improve, everything that's holding you back, everything that's been bothering you. Now, before we get into part number 2, write down in the comments below the thing that's been holding you back for so long. And also write down, what are you going to change starting today? Now, if you watch my videos, you are in the top 1% of people who are looking to build a better life, to rewire their dopamine, their habits, their identity, and build the life that they don't need to escape from. Now, part number 2, clean slate. So now that we've wiped all the dust off the mirror, we have a clean slate. And now this state that you're in, free of guilt, free of worry, free of anxiety, free of overthinking and overwhelm, this should be the normal state, right? To feel these negative emotions it's not normal. It shouldn't be the case. Now, the thing here is we've just been so accustomed to negativity. We've been programmed to feel fear, to overthink, to be confused, and to doubt ourselves. That's what the world is trying to program you to do, but you have to fight back against that programming and create for yourself a mental barrier. The absolute bare minimum of your identity should be positive emotions. The natural state of you, of me, of everybody should just be full of conviction, full of self-belief, full of gratitude and peace and calm and happiness, and just living relaxed and rich, being abundant in all ways. That should be the norm. And what we have to do now is we have to shift from that state of negativity, from overthinking, worrying, to the state of full gratitude, of peace and calm, because that changes your identity, it changes your mind. And a very, very excellent way to do that is journaling, which is the whole point of this video. Now let's talk about the pause the day concept. If you've ever had an idea that came randomly, you're going to want to pause the day so you can go and write it down. I remember I was sleeping one night, this was 2 nights ago. I was just sleeping in bed and I was just thinking about all this stuff like YouTube, and I just had this incredible idea for a video. And usually I would be like, I just want to sleep, I'll remember it tomorrow. But I just left my bed and I went to the journal and I just started writing it down. Because if you don't write down your ideas, if you don't write down your goals, then they're just gonna disappear. They're just gonna go as fast as they came. So it's such an important thing to take the time, even throughout the day, and just have your journal like on your desk. Have your journal, take your journal with you somewhere. When you go to a coffee shop to go work, have your journal just everywhere. So that every time you have an idea, every time you have a goal, every time you have this concept, this mental concept that you really want to reflect on, then you're just gonna open and write it down. Journaling should be something that is so natural. And the reason it doesn't feel natural to you is because you have so many alternatives, right? You could scroll, you could watch a movie, you could have some junk food and do all these things and entertain yourself. But journaling is way better for you. At the start, if you haven't journaled before, it's going to be very, very hard, but you're going to have to push through that beginning transition phase where it feels like there's so much resistance between you and journaling. And you just have to start with one sentence. Start with one word. Just journal anything. Because as soon as you start, it gets easier and easier and easier. Now, if you're enjoying videos like these, then subscribe to this channel. We're almost at 100K. We're approaching that mark. I'm excited for this. I've been working on this dream for a long time. This has been a dream of mine. And let's go to part number 3, the mirror's reflection. So at this point, after you've already implemented the habit of journaling, you now have a clear mirror. You have a mirror that is not obstructed, so you can finally see yourself clearly, right? You can see your flaws, you can see your beliefs, you can see your identity, you can see your limiting beliefs, your energy blocks, and all these things. All the things about yourself, about your identity that you weren't able to see before. Now you can see them. So now it's time to act on them. Now it's time to reflect your emotions. It's time to build your identity, your mental concept, and your frame. Now for a second, let's talk about identity architecture. So what if I told you you could really build your dream life? From scratch, you could craft your dream life. I'm currently living my dream life, without a doubt. And a couple months ago, let's say 9 months ago, I wasn't living my dream life. I didn't have my own schedule. I wasn't making enough money to support myself. I wasn't doing the things that I wanted to do. And I wasn't in the best shape of my life. I wasn't just living at my highest potential. But ever since then, I started to go down this path of identity architecture. I started to realize that it is in fact possible to shape your reality, to literally spawn the things in your life that you want, to spawn the dream life, to spawn the money, to spawn the car, and just to do the work and just like build a business and have all these things just fall into place. So that's identity architecture. I will make more videos on that in the future. Now, the second thing and the third thing that I'm going to talk about here. So second thing, number 2, is you're going to want to reflect on your actions. So there are 3 keys here. Number 1 is reflect on your emotions. We just talked about that. Number 2 is reflect on your actions. So at the end of each day, write down what action you took, how that aligns with your goal, and if you could have done more action. Just think about how you feel at the end of every single day. If you feel like you took good action and you're proud of how far you've come and the things that you've achieved, then that's great. If you feel like the day has gone and you just feel like you could have done more, then that's something you have to work on. And finally, number 3 is reflect on the lesson. So every single day, at the end of every single day, you're going to want to write down one major lesson that you learned today. And by doing these 3 things, you are instantly just jumping above the competition. You're just flying past everybody else. And if you consistently journal for months and years, you will become a very successful person. And now the last and final thing we're going to want to do today is take out another fresh page and write down your top 5 goals. The top things that you want to achieve in the next 3 to 6 months. This could be something like scaling your business, getting to 10K a month. Could be like getting 100K subs on YouTube, growing your Instagram following, landing that new job, getting that promotion, getting good grades in school, whatever it might be, write it down here and be completely honest with yourself and also be specific. Now, journaling is such a powerful skill and tool, and we also use it so often in our community. Inside Discipline OS, we have Sunday calls every single week, and what we've started to do is doing journaling practices and exercises together. This comes back to identity architecture, where we're just getting so clear every single time, every week. We're getting so clear on the life that we want to live, the person that we want to be, the identity, the discipline, the consistency. So if you're interested in joining us to rewire your habits, change your identity, and also level up your discipline in life, then click the link in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one. You got this.